Some of the world's leading hoteliers expressing interest in purchasing the Baha Mar property. Among them, a familiar name to the Bahamas. Prime Minister Christie made the disclosure today. Clint Watson has more.
We now have some form of confirmation on who are involved in talks to purchase Baha Mar. Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, revealing a familiar name as he spoke with reporters.
They are talking with many persons, including Saul Kersner's group. They are talking to people who can bring great excitement to this destination. I'm very impressed with the names of the corporations, the names of the individuals who are talking with them. And they include also huge Chinese operators.
Prime Minister Christie says he wrote a very comprehensive letter to the China Export-Import Bank, and at the time of this interview, he was told that a response had been sent back to his office. And as momentum appears to be picking up, Mr. Christie says there are three main concerns he wants to ensure is addressed.
One, that construction resumes as quickly as possible. I impressed that upon them yesterday. Two, that there is no compromise on paying the Bahamian contractors who are owed significant sums of money on a dollar-per-dollar basis. Three, that the employment that I offer to them, right, that if we are able to be certain when construction would resume, the government of the Bahamas, on the basis that we would be able to be reimbursed in part or in whole, would then move to be able to cause the people who are unemployed to be employed.
Mr. Christie further disclosed that based on the timelines, the deal should be wrapping up soon and movement should be taking place.
They have asked for a period of time that I think is about to reach the time that they asked for to make the decision, because it is very clear that there has been an unusual amount of interest on the part of operators of resorts and casinos to become involved in this site here. And so we continue to wait and to watch, but we do know that a decision must be made imminently for this to go on, and we expect it to be made imminently.
Now, without giving a date, Prime Minister Christie says he expects construction to reconvene at Baha Mar sometime soon. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Clint. A new cruise ship has added the Bahamas to its port of call. That new ship now docked at Nassau's harbor, making its first voyage to the Bahamas this Thursday. Carla Palmer reports on the welcoming reception that followed.
Described as the largest, newest, and most exciting cruise ship in the fleet of Norwegian cruise liners. With its home port of Miami just a sail away from Nassau, its weekly voyage here is anticipated to bring thousands of visitors to the Bahamas. The deal signed and sealed by Tourism Minister, the Honorable Obi Wilshcombe.
I think we all know that tourism has been the bread and butter of our nation. We have not been hesitant about all that we must do to cause our country to grow. We have, over the many years, invested in causing the Bahamas to be among the leaders in the entire Caribbean, and if not in the entire world. We do so by working on what we must. Infrastructure is required for the cruise lines. We must ensure that we deliver the service, the quality service. And of course, every single day we hope to ensure that we have the peace and hospitality that must prevail in our nation.
Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, is looking forward to welcoming the many visitors that he expects will advance the tourism product.
Our downtown committee, redevelopment committee, is working arduously to ensure that the experience on Bay Street will be improved and will be such that they will come away, yes, understanding that yes, I'm escaping, and yes, I'm breaking away, and I'm doing it in a place that I could truly enjoy.
The Escape features one of the largest deck-top fun zones at sea, with signature specialty restaurants among other amenities. Evans Hoyt captains the vessel along with a crew of 1,651.
Looking back at the perspective here, it was 49 years ago that the Sunward came. I think there was a few people here who remember her. And since then, the partnership between Bahamas, the grand city of Nassau, has been coming to fruition. And now, 49 years later, we have our largest ship, our newest ship, and her most advanced ship.
With a capacity to carry in excess of 4,000 passengers, the Norwegian Escape is expected to call on the Bahamas once a week. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Carla. There's a dispute going on in the Ferguson subdivision over a proposed development. Residents are not happy and are speaking out. Our Jared Higgs talked to them and authorities in this investigative report.
Edna Barrow is a Barbadian who's been living in the Bahamas since the 1950s. She and her sister live next door to each other in the Ferguson subdivision of Carmichael Road. What was once a quiet community known historically for farming is the site of what Edna calls a nightmare.
The issue that my sister and I are having is because Peter Roker, who is erecting a new gas station next door in a residential area, and the proximity of his gas station to our house is deplorable, because it means that whatever system he is going to install there is going to contaminate our water system.
The gas station being constructed is adjacent to the Esso that already exists. In between the homes of Edna and her sister, another construction is taking place, inclusive of a well.
He is saying that these pumps, or these pumps will contain water. But if you're going to build a gas station, why are you going to put water pumps? So he is trying to fool those people in the ministry.
And they have a hazard sign in the front saying that flammable, no smoking, right on the side of where our house is constructed. But like I said, it will be a hazard, that where fire would be a serious problem if a gas station is erected here. Presently, we are still experiencing fumes from the gas station which was initially operating. Now he's bringing another gas station or an extension to his gas station closer to our residents.
So they also told you that this well that's being dug is for water as well?
So they say. But when you look, this is the gas station there. So why would this be a well for water?
And then when we look at the depth of the well.
Precisely. And the distance from my boundary wall is maybe about 2-3 feet.
Ms. Barrow says she reached out to the Ministry of Works for answers as to how this development could be taking place just over her wall. When that didn't work, she reached out to her Member of Parliament and the Minister responsible for the environment, the Honourable Kenrid Dorset.
When anyone makes an application for an expansion of a gas facility, and any other business for that matter, ordinarily the same plans are provided to the Department of Environmental Health Services, which falls under my remit, for us to provide our input. That didn't happen in this instance.
Minister Dorset said he and his team dug deeper, eventually reaching out to senior Ministry of Works officials.
That then led me to make inquiries at the Ministry of Works and a discussion with the DPM, which resulted in a stop order being issued to halt all construction activities, because clearly the protocols had not been followed.
According to Ms. Barrow, the work stopped about 2 weeks ago. She's glad that her Member of Parliament stepped in, and all that needs to be done now is refill the wells that are now creating a mosquito breeding hazard. The question still remains, who approved the project in the Ministry of Works? ZNS News will continue to follow this developing story. Jared Higgs, ZNS Network News.